Hey guys, welcome to this tutorial. Today we will be working on grid power and temporary flight using one of the rings. Grid power works by having a machine do something such as run water through it, and it spins the gears and it causes grid power to go up. Certain objects, such as I said the ring, will use the grid power to be able to do certain stuff. The one we're talking about is the chicken ring and the squid ring. There's also a gold ring, but you do need to get that through finding it. So we'll just go with the ones that you can actually create today. And so we'll jump right into it. The first items you're going to need are these. One of them is going to be a chisel to make your life a little bit easier, and stone. If you right click with the chisel, you can put stone into here, and then you'll be able to get items like this. In this case, we need lots of stone bricks, so typically you would need a 4x4 to do this. In this case, we can just create 64 using the 64. If we do grab this brick we made and put it in here, and putting the brick in a 4x4 pattern will create polished stone. We will need quite a bit of this. In this case, we'll make 10 to start with. Using the polished stone, we are going to create the first item we need, and that is a manual mill. You will need the polished stone, a redstone gear, which is just redstone torches with any kind of plank in the middle, and lastly, a resonant redstone crystal. This is used by finding an ender pearl and breaking it with a glass cutter. You can do that by putting a pearl and a glass cutter in the crafting menu, and it will create an 8x1 of this. If you do 1, 2, 3, 4 around the ender shard, so if I go in here, I can show you 1, 2, 3, 4 around a single shard, you can put all 8 in there and it will understand that you're putting in 1. You will create a resonating redstone crystal. From that, we'll create a single manual mill. So if I take this one mill and I put it down right here, and I start right clicking on it, you'll see that it starts to spin. And at this point, it is creating 15 grid power. Obviously, this is not the best way since we have to keep clicking. As soon as we stop clicking and start looking away, you see it goes back down to 0 immediately. Back. So in this case, we're going to make the next one up, which is a water mill. And you see here, gives GP for adjacent flowing water blocks. Well, the problem is that we need stone burnt. Stone burnt is made using GP, and it is made with a resonator. So if we want to make a resonator, we need iron ingots, redstone, a single coal block, and another one of those resonating crystals. If we grab this and we put it down, let's say right behind it, we'll see that it has 0 grid power. So it is not doing anything, there's no power used, there's no power being generated. If I grab some of this polished stone and I put it in here, you'll see that it is trying to do something. It requires 8 to be able to convert this into something. So if I start clicking on this, you can see that it is producing grid power, and grid power is being used. So once it hits 8, it will use it and drop it back down to 0. And we'll see here, we have 1 stone burnt available now. So the way you would do this is you would create enough to create a single one of these. So we would need 6. And then you would need the 2 redstone gears, a single resonating redstone crystal, and you would get a single water mill. If we take this water mill and grab a bucket of water, we can create a pretty simple thing by going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And we'll actually expand this one more time in a complete direction and put it in the 4 corners that were for the 3x3. You can do this with one. The more you have, the more grid power you create. And if I put one in each corner of this, we will see we are now having 56 grid power created at one time. Clear this weather view. Not creative. And so if we just had one of these, you can see that it would create 14. So it also depends on how much water you have. Say I do this, the more water touching it or the more water flowing through it, the more it creates. So you want to have a situation like this where water is coming in from multiple sides. And like I said, the more you put down, you can make this as big as you want. I don't think I've ever used more than a 4x4. It will make plenty for you. But now we will get into items that use this. Now that you have grid power, this is a constant source. You will never run out. You will leave the chunk. So if I get too far away from this and this chunk unloads itself, you will not have access to the grid power. You can create a chunk loader to fix that issue. But let's get into some of the rings now. The rings aren't too hard to create. The two rings we'll talk about is 1, the chicken ring, and 2, the ring of the flying squid. First item you're going to need is a golden lasso. It requires golden nuggets and string. If you put it in that fashion, and you have 8 experience. So this is one of the big things. You need 8 experience and you have to do this at a crafting table. It will create a golden lasso. If you take this golden lasso, let me clear my inventory real quick. If you take this golden lasso and find an animal, so if I right click with the chicken, now we have a chicken. If I right click with the golden lasso, it will capture the chicken. If I look at the golden lasso now here, you'll see that it says chicken and how much health it has. That is mandatory for the next item. The next item requires this, but you will need to put the golden chicken in the middle with iron ingots, 2 feathers, and a resonating crystal. That will give you a chicken wing ring. And you see here in the description, it tells you that it uses 1 GP and that you currently have so much used. So in this case, I haven't used any grid power yet, so 0 of 56. If I pick up this ring and I equipped it, let me exit out of creative real quick, and I equip this. Come on. And I look at this ring now, we will see that I have 1 of 56 when equipped it. And if I jump off something, so if I jump off this chest and I double click space, I will float down. So I will not fall, I'll float, I won't take falling damage. There is a cooldown, you'll see that the blue bar starts going down. I can't float forever. The next item you're going to want is the ring of the flying squid. This one requires the chicken ring to create it. And this is going to work the same as you did last time. You're going to take a golden lasso and you're going to find a squid in the wild and you're going to capture him, and now you have a squid in the golden lasso. If I put the squid there, ink sacks in the corner, chicken ring in the middle with a diamond above and below it and a single ender pearl, I will get Ring of the Flying Squid. So it's fun to note that you don't need to have the ring equipped. So the fact that it is in my power, it is constantly using it. You can see there 17 of 56. And that is because the squid ring takes 16 and the chicken ring takes 1. So now if I double click, you'll see that I immediately shoot way high in the air. And then if I hold it, so let's say I get rid of this, that way we're not using that. So now there's just a squid ring. I get the boost, and it's basically a temporary flight. So you're not hovering in the air. You have to hold the button to be able to fly. But it's great for reaching good distances in the beginning of the game. In survival, when you can't fly, this is a game changer. So there is one more ring above this. It is the gold ring, which is called the angel ring. And it has multiple forms. When you put these on you, it will actually give you the effects of the wings. So you'll have bat wings off the back of you. You do need to find this one in a battle tower or somewhere else. You cannot create this one anymore. In the previous update, you could create it using capturing a gas with a black lasso. But now, unfortunately, you can't. So you just have to get lucky and find it. Okay, guys, that is my tutorial on the grid power, as well as a quick demonstration of how to get one of the rings for some easy flight and survival. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if this helped you. Let me know if there's something you guys are having problems with. If there's another tutorial that would focus on you, let me know and I'll definitely get it out. Future tutorials do include the smeltered furnace. So not the smeltery, but the furnace. That one allows you to create food in different blocks and smelt them down, or not smelt them, but cook them faster. So in that case, you'd be able to use the furnace, which you can only do one item at a time. You can actually do 16 items at a time. So you could do a 16 pork, and it would automatically cook all 16 at the same time. So let me know. That will be the next one. Have a great day.